Welcome to Frontliner YouTube channel, and if you're watching for the first time, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Then don't forget to turn on notification bell for more updates daily. Now, my fellow Kenyans, we all understand that since the anti-government protest by the Gen Z revolution last year in 2024, there is no single justice that the government of William Samoei Ruto have done to the family that were mistreated illegally by some of the rogue police officers that were covering the ongoing protest that happened last year in 2024 and also this year during the Sabasaba protest, where right now the government together with their crew and a broad-based government are busy planning on how they can compensate the family that lose their sons and daughters. But this is what I'm going to say about it. If it is not a permanent compensation to the family that lost their beloved ones, then we are not going to allow it. Because there is no way that William Samoei Ruto can tell the people of Kenya that he can pay Harambee Stars 1 million each. Then he cannot afford to compensate this family for the rest of their lives. Why? Why? If the government can be able to pay the footballers 1 million per each, 5 million per each, then this family should also be compensated permanent but not single compensation, where, as we are talking right now, High Court have suspended mandate of Ruto's panel for compensation of victim protest after lawyer Levi Munjeri alleged legal breaches, where some of the judges have already given the direction on October 6th next month, because Ruto acted unconstitutionally against that compensation that he's planning to do to some of the family that were mistreated during the peaceful protest. So it is not going to be much easier for William Samoei Ruto to do that compensation. It is true. But before we proceed with this analysis, allow me to play for you this clip of the video of NTV analyzing the reason why High Court have suspended mandate of Ruto's panel for compensation across the country to the family that were mistreated during the peaceful protest. But before you watch the video, ensure you like the video. When you like the video, you automatically shows your support on what I'm doing on this platform. Thank you so much, and you can watch the video.
Meanwhile, families of victims of protests will have to wait longer for the victim compensation pledged by the government. This is after the High Court in Kirinyaga temporarily suspended operations of the panel of experts on compensation of victims of demonstrations and public protests. The petitioner, Levi Munjeri, has accused President William Ruto of acting unconstitutionally in constituting the panel. NTV's Kevin Mutai has the details.
I shall well and truly...
The ruling delivered by Justice Mugare Kizito on Monday at Keregoya High Court in Kirinyaga County suspended the implementation of President William Ruto's presidential proclamation that paved way for the formation of the panel of experts on compensation of victims of demonstrations and public protests. Lawyer Levi Munjeri, who is the petitioner, contends that President Ruto contravened several sections of the Constitution in constituting the panel. He noted that Article 59 of the Constitution establishes the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights as the constitutional body charged with the promotion and protection of human rights in Kenya. He argued that, and I quote, "The panel of experts on compensation of victims of demonstrations and public protests lacks authority and mechanisms to investigate and even determine criminal culpability, which is to inform the basis of the compensation," end of quote. He maintains that the mandate lies with KNCHR. Further, he says the 18-member panel, chaired by President Ruto's senior advisor on constitutional affairs and human rights, Makau Mutua, is also in contravention of Articles 94 and 95 of the Constitution on grounds that the creation of such a panel and the scheme by presidential proclamation and gazette notice without enabling legislation or express parliamentary authorization subverts the constitutional powers of the legislature. Munjeri also accused the president of going against the dictates of Articles 201 and 206, which imposes fundamental constraints on how public funds are raised, appropriated, released, and used. The law prescribes the principles governing public finance, including openness and accountability. In his ruling, Justice Mugare issued conservatory orders directing that, and I quote, a conservatory order restraining the office of the Attorney General, the Ministries of Interior and National Coordination, and that of National Treasury, their servants and agents from implementing, enforcing, or in any manner acting upon the proclamation by the President of the Republic of Kenya, dated 6th August 2025, establishing a framework for compensation of victims of demonstrations and public protests pending the hearing of the application by interparties. A stay order on the implementation of the Gazette Notice 12002 of 25th of August 2025 that appointed the panel of experts on the compensation of victims of demonstrations and public protests was also issued. Further directions will be delivered by the court on 6th of October. Kevin Mutai, NTV.
And of course, a lot of reaction from that. The Police Reforms Working Group Kenya has just released a statement saying they welcome the ruling of the High Court in Kerugoya, issuing conservatory orders temporarily suspending the operations of the panel of experts on compensation of victims of demonstrations and public protests, terming it the establishment of the panel as unconstitutional, irregular, and wasteful. They say that they demand full accountability for all the atrocities committed by the regime, including issues of extrajudicial killings and forced disappearances, torture, and other gross human rights violations. And while away from that,
so that is what is happening. As we are waiting to see the kind of as we are waiting to see the compensation, High Court have blocked William Samoei Ruto because he acted unconstitutionally. He did not follow the constitution of the Republic of Kenya on how those matters should be handled. Because ziko kwa compensation, ziko kwa nini constitution. All this compensation mara nini ziko kwa constitution ya Kenya ya 2010. So Ruto did not follow that constitution. That's the reason why judiciary have blocked William Samoei Ruto until next month. Hata ule Law Society nani Faith Adhiambo did a very, very big mistake. He have totally betrayed the people of Kenyans. Number two, he have killed his political career in the Republic of Kenya for the future reference, because how will he be able to solve these problems? Let us say that perhaps another case of Albert Ojwang tune in. How will he handle that matter? How will she handle the matter? Tuseme sahi tena Albert mwingine akuwe abducted hata Migori ama huko Nyeri ama Kiambu, then auliwe hapa Central Police Station ama kwa police station nyingine, then how will she handle that situation? That is something that most Kenyans are now asking themselves, that it is true, ashaenda huko. He have been bribed. He have been bribed by the government so that all the evidence that he collected during the anti-government protest could be barren. Zile zimezikwa kitambo kabisa. Don't expect anyone. Don't expect such one. Zile zishakuwa silenced. And that is the reason why Ruto and Raila have been hunting Faith Odhiambo. Ndiye akapewa hadi kazi, because he's the one that was on the forefront to collect data upon what happened during the anti-government protest. But what he did is totally wrong. Because right now, he cannot address Kenyans. He cannot move freely the way he used to do, because during that time, he was on the side of the people of Kenyans. He was not supporting the government. He used to make the government accountable. But since he was appointed as the new president of the LSK, that is the time that he stopped criticizing the government and also working for the people of Kenya. So let us wait and see how this compensation is going to be done, and also how the new selected or appointed LSK president Faith Odhiambo is going to handle this compensation or to the victims that were mistreated illegally during the anti-government protest. But if it is not a permanent compensation, then we are not going to allow it. See you in the next